The another tutorial, this is the series tutorial of movie application development. Okay, so in this application, uh, we used in my previous lecture, we used the live data to as a data flow, right? To so but in this tutorial we are going to use flows uh, as a data flow. So we which is much more advanced than that using the live data, right? So and we will be also doing some minor modification of to make our app performing much better. Okay, so first thing what we are going to do is we're going to also do some make some minor refactoring of the code. Okay, so let's go to my, so this is the application as you can see here, guys. Okay, so let's go to my activity, main activity. As you can see here, that we are pretty much filtering uh, the list of movies by the release date. Okay, starting with the year and then sorting by the descending. Okay, so we can just perform this transformation directly in your view model, right? So this looks much better. Instead of adding all the logics in your fragment, I'm like activity, you can just do it in your view model, all the necessary logics. So we will be doing that. So let's go and do it in our movie view model. Okay, all those transformations. So we will go to our view model. Okay, so when we get our popular movies, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a kind of a transformation using a map. Then we will filter it using the calendar instance. Get the calendar instance, release date starts with calendar year. So after you filter and do the following transformation, you just sort by descending with the popularity. Okay, so you can just do pretty much everything there, and go back to your activity, so you don't need to add all this extra task here, right? So you just need to pass the popular movies, and that's it, guys. These popular movies is all automatically returning the filtered and sorted data, right? Yeah, so we can also rerun our application. Yeah, and it's working pretty fine. So this is a simple live data transformation to modify the list of movies to select only the one released, right? uh, in that particular release date of the year, right? And okay, so for your information, uh, transformations.map, this modifier actually is pretty much providing us to helping us to transform our live data. What it does is modifies the value of the live data into another value that based on these conditions, right, that you are passing here. So this is how it is doing it. You can use it for filtering, sorting, formatting the data, right, and many more such kind of transformations you can do it. There is also another transformation called switch map, So you can also use this switch map transformations to transform the value of live data to another live data that is used when you want to do a specific task involving a database or a network operations with the original live data. Okay, uh, you can also do that. uh, okay, so now we can just switch on to the flows. So we look into how about using the flows for our asynchronous programming in Android. So flow is like, also as I told you, it is a data stream, is an asynchronous data stream library built on top of coroutines. So it's ideal for live data updates in your application. So it's better than live data that we are using here. So we are gonna use just upgrade it to the flows right now. I will be showing you in a while. So Android Jetpack libraries like Room, Work Manager, and Jetpack Compose, and third-party libraries, they all support Flow. So it's nice. I consider you guys using Flow. Okay, a Flow is flow of a data is represented by Kotlin X coroutine flow. Okay, so flow interface. Uh, okay, so this flow interface, actually what it does is emits the multiple value of the same type one at a time. So the cool thing about flow is it's just implementing emitting the values one at a time, multiple values of a same type one at a time. So you can emit flow of any type, like for example string, int, any data type, like or any object, custom objects that you create, right? So the flow starts to emit values when you call the suspending collect functions from a coroutine or another suspending function. So um uh, after you emit, like there is a collection. Okay, like so suspending collect functions um, uh, will start collecting, like it's like it starts observing, it's like collecting the value, and the flow will start to emit on basis of the suspending function that is collecting the value. Okay, so this is the concept, guys. um, and for collecting the flows, so we will now try to change our application to collect the flow. Okay, so let's go and do that. So let's go and go to our fetch movie. uh, this fetch movie function from the repository is pretty much it's returning a live data, as you can see here, but we're gonna change it to the flows. All right, so obviously to change the flow, so we will now don't we will not be needing all this live data, actually. uh, and we also not need this suspending function, but what we need is now we're gonna return a simple flow of a type list of movie. Okay, let's import the origin flow. Okay, so now what is happening here is it's gonna return the flow, and it will emit the API service get so API key that is you're gonna pass is your API key is your movie key constants API key, and flow on with your dispatchers.io. Okay, so what it's saying is like obviously uh, it's said it requires the flow of list of movies, but it's a proper so we also have to change it, so we don't need this anymore. The results. Okay, okay, so you see lot of boilerplate codes are were being removed. Results. So guys, I will just comment it down for the okay, so we'll just comment it down so that you see the difference. You see, like we just reduce the boilerplate codes. I'm like remove the boilerplate codes, and it's like using flow. It's much more easier, right? Okay, from this I can also now start giving you some concepts like we, as you see, we created flow using the flow builder, right? uh, our flow builder, uh, like we used this flow uh, from the Kotlin flow API, right? So this is one of the flow builders. So there are also other flow builders like flow off is flow like flow off. This is also another flow builder. Okay, or as flow off, sorry, not like this. So you can have flow off or as flow, you know, there are multiple builders like that, right? And flow, this flow actually what it does is like this creates a new flow from a suspendable lambda block. So you can send values using the emit function. So you send this with this emit, you just are sending values, right? Values using the emit function. Okay, so you can also use multiple other flow builders as I told you. This flow builder flow of this creates a flow from a specified value of or the arg values. Okay, and also there is as flows as I told you. Flow, this method is also actually is a extension function used to convert a type, sequence, array, range or collection into a flow. Okay, anything you can just convert into flow by using just as flows. Okay, um, and what else guys? So using operators with flow, there are multiple built-in operators you can use it with flow. So you can collect flow with the terminal operator and transform flows with intermediate operators. So terminal operators such as okay, so let me just talk about some operators here. So there are some operators like as I told you, terminal operators like count, like first and first or null. Okay, so we can also have operators like last and last or null or fold or reduce or single and single or null. Okay, so to collection, to list and to set, you know, all these kind of terminal operators are there, right? So you can use all these terminal operators with flow. These operators work similarly in Kotlin collection function with the same name, right? So you can just use it. You can also use intermediate operators. like immediate operators with flow, like filter not, filter not null, and filter is instance, map and map not null or one on each, right? Running reduce and running fold or with index, right? So there are multiple flows. You can just go and just check about these operators. Okay, so now we will just try to okay, collect the flow, right? So let's go and collect the flow. So what we have done is we have made the changes with the repository first. Okay, so now we go to our view model where our repository is using, right? So in our view model, so what we are gonna do, uh, so we're gonna change it to collect the flow, right? So our view model, what it is doing is like, one second guys, so this is pretty much the transformation that I was using, right? Okay, so let me just comment it down. Okay, so now we'll be changing it using the flow. It was just a live data transformation, okay, that we did it before. It's also a cool concept that you're gonna use it, but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna okay, let me create some private val popular movies is a mutable. We'll create a mutable state flow of an empty list of type movie. This is the object, right? And then we have our popular movies, public variable called popular movie is, which is also a state flow of type list of movie, right? And it is assigned to this popular movie mutable state, sorry, popular movie it's a mutable state flow, right? And then we also have this error. We don't need any more. Okay, let me just okay, so now we have to change the also the error variable with the immutable state flow, okay, of an empty string, right? And we have a public error variable which is a state flow and of type string, and this is gonna assign with that mutable state for error values, right? Okay, so now here comes the situation. So how can we what is happening here is we're gonna launch with our like dispatchers that we are using, but the dispatcher that we're gonna use, we're gonna just pass the dispatcher from as a constructor parameter. So we have a private val dispatcher is a coroutine dispatcher that's assigned to a default value of dispatchers dot input and output. Okay, so we're gonna pass the dispatcher, and so we're gonna fetch the movies, but after we fetch we have to catch the flow, right? So if there is an error, we catch them. So an exception occurred message, otherwise we collect the flow, right? Okay, so we collect the flow and just assign it to our state mutable state flow variable, right? The value is assigned to it. Okay, so in the repository we were pretty much emitting the flow, right? As you can see here, after we it was successfully making the call, like, to this API service, then it emits uh, it sends the value using this emit function. Then the view model is pretty much responsible for collecting all these values, right, that the repository is emitting. Okay, so this is the simple procedure of emit and collect data flow. Okay, so and yeah, after that we will be just need the only thing that we are gonna need is just need to update our UI that is in the main activity with the flow, right? So let's go to yeah, this is my activity, so we're gonna just pretty much uh, update the UI. So uh, but for that, guys, we have to add another interesting library or dependencies, as you can saw call it is called lifecycle runtime. Okay, so this will allow us to use the lifecycle scope for collecting the flows in main activity. Okay, so we will be adding a lifecycle cycle runtime library. Okay, so it's an implementation, then Android lifecycle runtime KTX 261. Okay, this is our library. Let's sync it now. And as I told you, it allows us to use the lifecycle scope for collecting the flow in the main activity. So we will be going to our main activity, and yeah, we will not be using any observe here. Okay, so let me just comment it down, and we'll be this was the live data approach, but we will be using the flow approach, right? Data approach, but we are interested in the flow approach of data stream. So okay, so let's go and now use this lifecycle scope. We launch repeat it on lifecycle. Lifecycle dot state is resumed, or not resumed, let's start it. You launch your view model, your Movi view model, then you have this popular movies mutable state flow, state flow variable, and you collect them. It's a movie object. So now we have the adapter, and we just need to add the movies with the movies, right? It's a list actually. VIES. Yeah, guys, this is the section where we were collecting the success situations, like what if, like we have to, we can also launch to get the error to collect the error live data, right? Not live data, sorry, error state flow. So we have a movie view model, we have a error state flow, then we collect this state flow, and we just need to do is just have this error string, and if the error is not empty, then there is an error. That means then you have a to just make a snack, just show the snack bar, recycle view, recycle view error, and string, and you have the snack bar length long, and show this snack bar, right? Yeah, it's pretty simple, guys, and voila. So we have just successfully just integrated the flow. Okay, so we can just pretty much now run this application, and yeah, it's pretty much working fine. Yeah, everything's working fine, guys. When we click it, yeah, we have everything in the proper order, and it's much better than the using the live data, right? For this it's pretty okay. So we have with this we have concluded the second chapter, or second important concept of this application development. So I would like to conclude this second chapter of using the flow. Okay, and we will be now upgrading this app using a new Android, like different cool Android architectures. Okay, so this I will be talking this in my next tutorial, so catch you up in the next lecture, guys.